Oops, this is still going. Hello, and welcome. Hello, and welcome to a special outside boat edition of my knitting podcast. I'm Naomi, and this is NJ Knits, where I talk about my knitting. And obviously, we have a finished object to talk about here. This is not blocked, and I'm not even fully certain if I'm finished with it yet, but I decided to wear it to get your opinion. This is the Franklin Park T tank. I keep calling it a T, it's not a T. As you can see, it has no T sleeves. This is a test knit for Jennifer Brou, and the knitting is finished. However, there's a couple things that I'm unsure about. One being, obviously the bind off is tight again. I need to just learn a really stretchy bind off, but I did this bind off fairly tight and didn't test it, and it just barely goes over my head. So I haven't woven in the ends for the bind off. There's lots of ends because this was done in intarsia, and if you want to see the back, you can see, I'll show you, I'll take this off. You can see that the intarsia in the round is not great on the back, because that's where I started and ended the round. And I have things to say on this, but the first question being, what do you think of it? I like the intarsia. I don't know if I like how tight it is. Obviously I chose to make it tight, but I don't know if I like it. It's meant to actually only be sewn up here, and then it's like meant to be open and worn with a t-shirt. And I thought I would like it better as a tank. And now I'm questioning that, so I haven't woven in the ends of sewing it up so I can unsew it. And I want to do that before I block it, which is difficult because I think this will block out. It will block looser. It's a very soft and loose and floppy fabric. So I think it will block bigger, and I think that the unhemmed nature would look better with this being a bit of a bigger, a looser fit. So it's hard to make the decision of like, do I unhem it before I block it? But I guess you can unhem it and block it. I think this is single, so the yarn felts pretty easily. So I think when I block it, if I blocked it hemmed, it would be difficult to unhem it, unseam it. But it's obviously easy enough to seam it. So I should probably unseam it, block it, and then see what I think. But let me take it off and show you. Also, show you how difficult it is to get on and off my head. So probably, if I was a responsible knitter, what I would do probably is actually, and I think I still will because I have these, is undo the bind off and redo the bind off because it's too tight, obviously. This yarn, like I say, felts really well, so if I don't have enough, I have leftovers and I can just felt on some longer bits to do a bigger bind off, if that makes sense. So obviously it's cut now, but it'll probably need more yarn to be bound off because it's too tight. Then what I'll do is I will undo this seam to where the pattern says it to be seamed up, which is here, and then I will block it and see what I think, because otherwise it's pretty cool. Hi. Yeah, it's pretty cool otherwise. It's got ribbing along the sides to keep it from rolling. Now, one thing I don't understand is this was done in pieces and it was seamed up, and it is meant to be done in intarsia where the ribbing on the neck carries this motif. So what I don't understand, and I probably will say this in the test knit, is I think a better way to do this would be to do the neck and shoulder shaping with short rows, and then do the hem, do this in the single piece. So do this ribbing in the single piece and do this ribbing in the single piece, and then attach the shoulders together, because intarsia in the round is difficult and the pattern has no support on how to do that, and I sort of tried to blag my way through it, and I think I did an okay job, but you can see on the back here it's just a mess, because basically what you have to do intarsia in the round. So intarsia is where you carry a strand of yarn to do the colour work. So I've got one ball of yarn doing this, one ball of yarn doing this, and a new ball of yarn doing this. And back and forth it works, because if you think of the thread goes to here, then you drop that thread, you pick up the new thread, goes to here, drop that thread, pick up a new thread, goes to here. And then you flip the work around and you're on this side, and you pick up the thread, you go to here, pick up that thread which was dropped, go to here, pick up that thread which was dropped, go to here. Now in the round, that doesn't work, because you go pick up the thread, go to here, drop it, pick up, go to here, drop it, pick up, go to here, drop it, pick up, go to here, and let's just pretend this is all one colour, drop it, and you go to pick up your thread here, and it's all the way down here. So you can't do intarsia in the round. What you have to do is you have to basically do what I did in Petite Knit's honey clutch, which was you turn the work. You work in the round but back and forth, and you basically just like create a little seam that you kind of close up by sort of doing intarsia in a way, like wrapping the thread around one of the colours. But the problem with doing that is I didn't want to muddy up the clean seam of the two colours by wrapping the green around the purple. So I didn't really know how to do it at all. And I probably should have looked up some videos to try and learn how to do it, but I sort of just tried to work it out, and that was I mean, it was fine, because this is a very short bit of intarsia, so I sort of just sometimes just carried the thread all the way across. But yeah, it's not great. It doesn't bother me. It's just the back anyway. And the front looks fine, because it was always, that wasn't where I was turning it round, so that's fine. But I do need to redo this hem. And I need to take these out, I think. But yeah, this was done in Malabrigo lace weight singles, and they feel divine. They're so soft and so nice. Although, this is weird. So yeah, I'm taking bets onto whether or not you think I'm going to actually keep this item. The test due date was the 29th, which is my birthday. And I was like, oh, it'll be a fun birthday present, but now I don't even know if I want it. But I think I was just getting a little bit sick of it, to be honest. This yarn, you can see it kind of gets quite like fluffy and pilly, because it's very soft merino and it's single, and so it just sticks to itself really easily. So working with it in the intarsia is difficult. But I mean, look at how like drapey the fabric is, and this is like unblocked. I mean, that's pretty cool, and I'm happy with how it looks. Like, I just think I probably should have made a bigger size, but I was worried about yarn. In fact, I should not have been, because I ended up with about 15 grams of yarn left. Started with 100 grams of each ball, no, 50 grams of each ball, and I ended up with about 15 left over. So yeah, and look at that seaming. That's nice seaming, isn't it? Love a bit of mattress stitch. Um, so yeah, I would say in terms of if you want to knit this, I will update you on whether or not I recommend the pattern, because I think as it is, it's good for advanced knitters. The fact that there's no explanation of how to do intarsia in the round, there's no explanation really of how to do intarsia, and there's no hand holding in terms of like how to follow the chart. There was a couple moments for me where, as a new intarsia knitter, I didn't know something like when I'm going back and forth here and then I start to go here. Normally, you pick up a new thread for that. I can't even remember which bit. I think it was this bit, maybe. I can't remember. I think I explained it last time, but I didn't know that, and the pattern doesn't say. So if you know, then fine, and if you don't, you end up like carrying the yarn, which then makes it look a little bit puckery. Um, this is what the inside looks like if you want to see. This was the second one I did, so it's cleaner because I kind of knew what I was doing by then. This is the first side. And so you see I kind of like carried yarn in different places, which isn't, you can kind of see on the front that I did that. So yeah, I mean, the pattern does say like don't carry the yarn, as in stranded color work, but I was not thinking that applied to like carrying the yarn in order to start new bits. I thought that just meant like don't carry it behind the little 3-bit piece, which it did also mean. But yeah, I think as the pattern is written, I would only recommend this for an advanced knitter. And I don't think I've ever thought a pattern was really good, only good for advanced knitters before. Normally, like most anyone who's got the will can tackle something, but I think this is a tricky one. I think it's kind of trickly, non-handholdy. I even messed up on the 3-needle bind off, which I know how to do. I just, the pattern just said do 3-needle bind off, and then I didn't check the technique explanation bit, which told you to put the right sides of the fabric together. Because I was like, I know how to do a 3-needle bind off, so I just kind of did one, and then I ended up with this at the front, which I don't really mind. Although this looks much cleaner. So that is my test knit. I'm gonna dutifully take this with me on my commute so that I finish it, because otherwise I think I probably won't redo the bits that I need to redo, and then yeah, see what happens with it. So that's my most recent finished object. Here is a further back finished object, and this one I'm really pleased with. I'm really happy with. I finished this last weekend, and this is my Streamers by James N. Watts. It's a really simple pattern, and it's the yarn that I picked up in a charity shop. It's Rowan Summerlight DK, and I used up pretty much all of the yarn. So I had 3 balls of the white, I had 2 balls of the light pink, and I had 1 ball of the green and the red. And I made the first size, I think, because my gauge was a little bit loose. And I didn't to, in the end, end up with the sort of loose summer cotton jumper that I wanted. But I ended up with a jumper that fits my mother perfectly and that she loves. And she was so excited when she saw the colours, and she loves it so much. The yarn is so soft. It's a really fun pattern, really easy to do. Again, knit in pieces. I'm in a knit in pieces moment, and I'm really loving it. So you do the front, you do the back, you do the sleeve, and the sleeve, then you seam up the sleeve. You seam up the sleeves and the sides, and then you do the ribbing and the cuffs. And yeah, I really love it. So I've given this to my mum. She's here to visit. And she really loves it. So I'm really happy with that. It's come out really nicely, though it wasn't the garment I was hoping it would be, because again I was playing yarn chicken, so I made a smaller size than I should have made. Maybe this is a lesson, Naomi. Maybe don't play yarn chicken, maybe make the right size. And also maybe know what your gauge is. There's another thing in that, to be fair. I have more to say on knowing what your gauge is and knitting it accordingly later. But yeah, so it's knit from this side to this side, and there's really subtle armhole and like back, neck, shoulder shaping, but I think it works. Like I was like, this is very minimal in terms of shoulder shaping, but I guess the thing is when you knit in pieces, you really don't need to do that much shoulder shaping because it can be done on its own, sort of thing. So yeah, this works really well. I like the size of the neck. It fits really well. It's not too over big, but it's not like too close. I really recommend Rowan Summerlight. I think it's overpriced for cotton because it's like £6 a ball, but it is really, really soft and it's really easy to work with. The only difference I made to the pattern was that I did the ribbing in half twisted rib instead of just normal rib, which is how the pattern says, because I knew this was cotton and that the rib was going to look messy if I didn't do it in half twisted. So I just twisted the knit stitch on it. So yeah, this is my streamers, and it is now my mum's streamers, which makes me very happy. So that is finished item-ish. And this, you will be pleased to see, is my washed, blocked, finished, buttoned up Be Thankful cardigan. And this I did in Briggs & Little. It's been a long time in the finishing. I got these buttons from Finland, and they are antler buttons. And yeah, this cardigan is exactly what I was wanting it to be. It's sort of loose, a little bit cropped, easy to wear. The only thing is the yarn is not that cozy. It is Briggs & Little Heritage worsted 2-ply, and I was hoping it would soften more in the blocking than it did, but I think it will soften with wear and with use. Excuse me. So yeah, I think it will soften, but here it is. It's blocked now. It's kind of like still got like a bit of memory. I think this touch that Lily did where it decreases just from this side and not from this side is really cool. Again, it looks a little bit funny in this yarn, I think, because it's still quite stiff, but I think it just needs to be broken in. Excuse me, that was gross. I think it just needs to be broken in a little bit. This detail I think is really clean and nice. Don't know how well I picked up stitches because it feels a little bit bulky around here. I feel like I probably could have picked up fewer stitches, but I didn't want it to feel like it was like gathering. Picking up stitches is always tricky, isn't it? It's got a little faux seam all the way up and down here. So yeah, this is my Be Thankful cardigan. I've yet to actually wear it. Because I always leave my finished objects, but also, can I just say, these sleeves, perfection. I think the original cardigan, you pick up, the modifications I made was you pick up more stitches here, I think, originally. Well, the armhole depth was deeper in the pattern, but I just made it a little bit shorter. And then you pick up more stitches and you leave it straight until you decrease. Whereas I sort of decreased continuously as I went. So I did my own sort of decreases every like 6 or so rows, just to keep the arms tapered. I didn't want them. This arm is definitely bigger than that arm, I think. Doesn't it look like it's bigger? Anyway, just so that my arms weren't way too oversized. I don't really like a oversized poofy arm, I've realised. So yeah, this is my Be Thankful cardigan. It's finished. And yeah. Yarn is from Canada when I was working there. Buttons are from Finland when I went on honeymoon. And the pattern is from the absolutely gorgeous and great pattern writer Lily of Lily Kate France. And yeah, I have to say these sleeves are really satisfying because they feel loose, but they also don't feel like they're like floppy around my arms and around my hands and my wrists, which is really nice. Like having a simultaneously like relaxed fit and a kind of closer fit around the arms is really nice. And it does do the scrunching. Because they're tighter around the wrist, I don't think it'll scrunch that much, but it'll scrunch a little bit, which is nice. So yeah, I will give you more feedback as I wear this to see how it wears and if it gets less scratchy. But it's definitely a rustic wool, and it's softened a little bit with wash, but not a huge amount. Little insight into boat life. You have to fill your water tank every couple of days. That was particularly difficult because you're sitting on the step that I usually lean over to close the water tank. So that was that. That was this. I will fill you in on how it gets worn. I do like that it's cropped and that it's like easy to just put on. I think it might look nicer open than it does closed, but yeah, haven't worn it yet, so we'll feedback on it. I think mostly it's because I keep it in my basket because otherwise I'll forget that it was finished and I'm not good enough. I read this book once about how to like create systems so that you don't have to force your memory to do lots of work, and a lot of them are physical systems. So like if you always forget where you put your keys, it's like just make a physical system where they or for example, if you need to remember to bring X thing with you and you're just not the kind of person for whom lists work, just put X thing on top of your shoes so that when you go to put your shoes on, you go, oh, here's X thing that I want to bring with me. That kind of thing. It's like it forces you to not have to use your memory or use lists or whatever. I'm like that. I need those types of things. So like when I have a basket, and it's like the rule is you finish something, you put it in the basket, and you can't do anything with it until you've done your podcast, so you know what things you've finished. It's a lot easier for me than having to like write a list and remember to look at the list and remember to consult it before coming to do my podcast, because that's just the kind of person I am. I just grab my stuff and go. So anyway. This is the Be Thankful cardigan by Lily of Lily Kate Makes. Really happy with it. I've wanted to make one ever since I discovered Lily. It's like that cardigan looks like the perfect, classic, simple cardigan. And yeah, I definitely still want some more cardigans in my life, because there's so many times when I'm like, oh, I just want something, but I don't want it to be all the way on. I want it to be halfway on. That's what a cardigan is for, I think. There is fibre in my tea. So in this finished object parade, I have for you my finished and blocked. Oh, but it's not quite finished. I need to add elastic. So I have worn this, and I think I might put it in this to put elastic in it. But this is my circumference sweater, again by Lily, and this is fantastic. This is my perfect arm fit, I think, right here. I love it. But I do want to put elastic in because this collar is very stretchy. So yeah, I did this with some um, hand spun purple and teal, along with some mohair from the charity shop. And again, I think the change modifications I made to the pattern were that I didn't do the tuck because my colour work is already kind of thick and it didn't need the sort of tuck look, because this yarn is very thick thin and sometimes very thick. I think otherwise I did one less stripe because I had enough yoke, because again my gauge, and I used awkwardly pretending like I'm not talking to the camera while someone is coming. I used 3 strands of lace weight alpaca, so that's why it doesn't have much bounce back, because it's very but it's very drapey. So anyway, I need to put an elastic in this. I think that's why it was sitting in here, because I think it was finished last time. I think my idea was I'll put elastic in and then it'll be a finished object. But here is, I'm so excited because now I get to use this, my finished honey clutch. It's been at the bottom of the basket, so it's been a little bit, but it's all sewn in and it's all finished. Are you ready for this? Look at that zip. Oh, yes. Look at that. Beautiful little bag. Look at that horrible double knitted bottom. We hate double knitting. Double knitting's having its moment at the moment, and I understand why. It's very nice looking. But boy, is it horrible to knit. I say this, I have a double knit colourwork jumper on the go at the moment, and probably will for the rest of my life. I don't think double knitting is that horrible. I just think plain boring double knitting is horrible, and I think that honeycomb brioche is horrible. Although I'm kind of knitting some honeycomb brioche socks at the moment. So I say something's horrible and I'm literally in the middle of knitting things with it. But that's why those things don't get finished as quickly. So yeah, this is my honey clutch. I'm really happy that it's finished. And now I've shown it to you, I get to use it. I used a strand of Arwetta and a strand of Osterman Kid Silk. And then I bought the kit from Knit and Living UK, which has the zip and the lining already sewn together. So all I had to do was attach the zip and attach the lining into the bag, which I did as a special treat to myself because I knew how much of a pain in the ass this was to knit. So I thought, you know what, you deserve a special treat to finish it, and getting this nice zip that you really like in the right size and getting a pre-made lining. So yeah, really happy with it. That's my honey clutch. I think the colours go really nicely together. I think the mohair is slightly lighter than the Arvetta. And there is one mistake in my honeycomb brush, which, to be honest, is a miracle. I thought there would be way more mistakes than just the one, but you can see it right there. Did you see the doggy in there? You can see when my neighbours come by, they're literally there. On that pontoon. Right there. Can you see it? It's a pontoon. Yeah, that's where the neighbours are when they come by. And I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. Nothing's happening here. I'm not talking to my computer at all. No. You're mistaken, my friend. Okay. I have one leftover button from my antler buttons, and I have to think of something lovely to do with it because they're my honeymoon buttons. So, time for whips, and I'm so excited about this. Hello, we've come back after a short interruption. It's time to move on to whips. So, the first whip I'm going to show you is the one I'm most excited about, but currently stalled on. It's living inside my beautiful bag by Lisa, one of my lovely, wonderful viewers. Hi, Lisa. She's fabulous, and I've turned it inside out now. It was the other way around when I was doing the honey clutch, and now it's this way around, which is also really cool. It's a reversible bag, which is so cool. So, what I'm working on is with the leftovers from the jumper I made, the streamless jumper, out of the Rowan DK. I really, really, really wanted to make this when I saw it. I don't know how I found it, but it is, I'll show a picture here, it is an African flower crochet hippo. And here's what I have so far. It's his bum. It's the hippo's bum and his little legs. Hippo bum legs. Look at him. Hello, I'm a hippo. Look at these beautiful crochet flowers in octagons and pentagons and heptagons and hexagons. And I started doing it and I was using random colours to connect, and I was like, this is too much. And what I love about the one they do is that it's all random colours, but it's all connected with white. And so that's what I started doing. But then I obviously ran out of the DK white, so then I used some scrap white from my Cumulus blouse, which is a very clearly different colour of white. But, you know, we're rolling with it here. It's kind of in stages, you know, there's like this bright white and then this sort of creamy white. So yeah, I'm currently just done this heptagon here, and I've got another one to do here. It's going to kind of connect up this whole area. But it's so cool how these like octagons and pentagons and things just turn it into a 3D object. And I'm doing connect as you go crochet, and obviously my crochet is like ridiculously loose. I don't know why I have such a loose gauge in every craft that I do, but look at his cute little bum, this little flowery bum hole. It's just so cute. I'm so excited about it. It's so much fun doing these little things, like of an evening or of a morning, just doing one little pentagon and then connecting it up. I'm using all my summer scraps for it. So the sad thing is I've run out of white cotton now. So I need to find some white cotton and keep going on this. I was going to originally wait and have one 50-gram ball of 4-ply cotton, white cotton, that I'm going to put into a Moon Crush tank. And I was going to use that try and make the Moon Crush tank and then get back to this project when I had the scraps. And I was like, you know what? A, the leftovers of 50 grams from making a tank isn't going to be enough to make the rest of this hippo. And B, therefore I'll have to buy some more anyway because I don't have other white cotton in my stash. Or bamboo, because this creamy thing is bamboo actually. And B, I don't want to stop on this. I'm having so much fun with it. So I'm going to buy some white cotton. I might do it today. I was going to take my mum, but she's feeling ill. I was going to take her to Tribe Yarns, but she's feeling ill. So, yeah. So I'm in the market for some white cotton to finish this guy up. If anyone has any scraps and wants to send them my way, please do let me know. Yeah, so I'm doing it with DK. Some of the stuff that I'm using is 4-ply held double. So this colour is from my ranunculus. It's the silk. It's here, this one. It's from Canada. I got it in Canada. It's silk and linen mix. This colour here is from the very ill-fated the BC Garn Alina, which is cotton and linen. And it turned into the very ill-fated cabled cardigan by Fable Knitwear that I tried to dye using eucalyptus in Morocco. Failed miserably because I dried it out on a truck bed and it got stains from the steel of the truck on it, and then I gave it away to an actor because it was the Egwene cardigan. I gave it to the actor playing the character Egwene. I thought it was very fitting. I don't think she's ever worn it or liked it, probably, my guess. Anyway, then I also made the Mimi out of this. So after making 2 jumpers, I still have enough to do a lot of this with, which is cool. What other colours do we have in here? Here is the pink from the fade when I made the pair of shorts and the tank. I always forget the name of it. I'm going to make another one. It's a Lily Kate tank pattern, but I had this fade of, it's cotton, viscose, and something else, I think. I got it in Canada, and this is the last colour of the fade, which I didn't use up in the shorts, sadly, because it's a really nice brilliant, and I was going to try and make a pair of socks with it, but that's obviously, it's going into this, because it's lovely. These are the leftovers from the jumper here and here, but I didn't have very much of that, so they quickly dyed the greens. And then this is Cotton and Cashmere, Summer in Cashmere by, again, BC Garn, and it's 10% cashmere, the rest is cotton. And this is, where do we have it in here? Oh, it's here, sample. We have some in the later colours here. Down here we have some, in here. And this is the leftovers from my Lydia 2.0 tank. So, yes, these are the colours I currently have. And I need cotton to finish them. So I can make some more squares, but I need more cotton to connect them. And I was thinking, like, I should probably wait until I've made that other tank to use the leftovers from that tank as well. But I'm too excited about this. It's too much fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving making these little flowers, and that each flower I get to then add in. And I've used up a lot of scraps, which has just been really nice. So I'm going to keep going with it. It's also fun to wear it as a hat. As I'm increasing it, it's going to become less and less hat-like. But let's see. No, it's not very hatty anymore. But we were wearing it as a hat with little ears before it got too big. The little legs were little ears. Obviously, this hippopotamus is going to be absolutely huge. I've got an old pillow that we no longer use or want, and I'm going to stuff this hippopotamus with that old pillow. And it's going to essentially be a gigantic crocheted pillow shaped like a hippo. Everything about this project has been fantastic. The scrap usage, the crochet, the hippo, a fact, the ridiculousness, it's all been great. One thing I learned was that I don't crochet, but when I do, I always did it like English style. So I did it holding the thread in my right hand and holding the crochet hook also in my right hand. And that started to hurt my wrist. So then I switched to, because I was watching, my mum has been doing a couple of the squares as well. She did, I think she did this connecting square here. And which other ones did she do? I don't know, but some of them she's been doing, and she did this one as well. She finished this one, ready to put in. The pattern, I couldn't recommend the pattern enough. It's so great. It's so great. I don't know how to crochet, and I was able to follow this easily, no problem. The step-by-step tutorial on how to make these is phenomenal, and it's free actually. It's in her blog. I'll put the pattern designer here, or I can just quickly look, I guess. Not be lazy. So it's called Happy Potamus, the Happy Hippo, and it's by Heidi Bears. Anyway, so easy to follow, so easy to follow, and the construction of this is step by step, literally hand holding, color coded. So many photos to show you how to do it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's worth every penny. Go and buy this pattern, make this hippo, show me your hippo. I'm so excited about hippos. She has so many different patterns of different animals as well. I don't know if I'm going to want to make more because this is going to be such a statement. I think it's one and done for me probably, but I might make some for other people. Just so fantastic. Just hippos, fantastic. And this pattern, so easy to follow. And it's so nice to just make one little thing, attach it in, and then do something else with the rest of my morning. So it's a 5mm crochet hook, which I used, and I didn't do any gauge swatching or anything because I was like, no, that's not happening. This is a toy. But it's clearly much looser than the pictures that she has, and it's clearly going to be much huger. But I'm so here for this hippo. I mean, just look at it. It's just a genius. It's just an absolute genius of a pattern. It's so wonderful. I'm just so excited. I'm 10 times more excited now to talk to you about it, and I need to keep going, keep making this hippo and get some more white yarn stat. Although it does make me want to cast on the Moon Crush tank, actually. So I have been taking my mum's been here, and I've been taking her to see some shows, so I needed to get some like mindless knitting on the go because I didn't really have any. As the socks I'm currently working on are both focus socks. I don't have any mindless socks right now. My sock mojo has died a death at the moment. It will come back. So I cast on, I don't know if you recall last time, I had this as an acquisition, and I cast on the Ripple Bralette, which is what I was intending to make with it. It is, do I have the label here? Obviously not. But it's a yarn I picked up in Brighton at Yak Yarn and Knitting. And yeah, I was really excited to see how it knit up because it's got all these different colours, all this like variegation, and I thought it would make a really cool sort of 90s vibe tank top. So this is the beginning of my Ripple Bralette. It's a pattern by Jessie May. I'm sure everyone's heard of it. Once you get into the ribbing section of the body, it's just 3x3 rib. So I went to the ballet with my mum this week, and I did from here up at the ballet. It looks quite loose. It's knit on a 3.5mm needle, but that's my gauge, folks. I'm knitting I think I'm making the smallest size, or maybe the second smallest size. It's meant to have negative ease, and I think this will fit the bill just perfectly. So I'm probably going to do another this much again, maybe, if not a bit more. And then I will, yeah. So I'll keep plugging away at this. It's pretty quick. It's knit up pretty quickly so far. I might take this down to Brighton this weekend to work on. I can't say I'm obsessed with how these colours are working, and I think the reason is it feels like you don't get to appreciate all the individual colours very much. They kind of just blend together. But I think it's still nice. Still nice, right? We'll see it when it's a finished vest top. But yeah, that's the pattern. I actually really appreciate the details of this pattern. The beginning, there's more than just do some rib and then do some rib. There's a few little details that just make it feel more finished to me, which I really like. So yeah, that's my Ripple bralette with using the yarn that I'm going to put down below because I can't remember it. I haven't done any work on any outstanding long whips. Once I finished that honey clutch, I was like, yay, go me. That's that. I kind of got obsessed with the streamers jumper and just knit that for a while, and I've been sort of slightly monogamous with this crochet as like my home project, and then just like I basically had a home project, a commute project, which is the bulk of my knitting time at the moment, and a in the dark project. This is a surprise. This was a surprise to me because I've had this on my queue for ages and had the yarn, been ready to do it, just haven't. And I was surprised that I cast this on, and I'm surprised that I've been kind of obsessed with it. This is the Augustines number 18, I believe. It is a skirt. It's got a fold over band, a hole here to put the elastic in. It's a very simple, just stockinette. In the round, it's 8mm needles. You use 2 strands of mohair and a strand of fingering. And I've had this yarn since Canada. I got this ice yarn in eBay when I did a big bunch of eBay purchases. And with this ice yarn, I made my, where's the ice yarn? Here it is. This is a combo of like acrylic and alpaca and maybe a bit of wool, I think, but it's mostly acrylic and alpaca. And I just loved the colour. I think I got like 16 balls of this or something, and each ball has 350 meters, so I got a ridiculous quantity. I made a November jacket by Petite Knit holding this double, and then I also made a t-shirt by Boho Dream Design using this, holding it single, but like quite a long t-shirt, which I gave to my sister. My idea was I want to make a whole knitted outfit in this. So I have the Petite Knit cardigan basically, which I wear. I love it. It's a great cardigan. It's so nice. It's so easy to wear. The only thing wrong with it is it's got really, really big loose sleeves, but it's just easy to wear and it's lovely. So I really wanted, and then I found this mohair on eBay in Canada, and this mohair it's the type where it's basically the same as silk mohair, but I think instead of silk this is polyamide. Maybe it is silk actually, but I think the brand is Just Yarn. I think it's a Chinese brand. So yeah, I've got 6 balls of this, and I just did a spreadsheet this morning to find out if I'm actually going to have enough to make the skirt. and I think I will, which is exciting. So yeah, basically just well, I'm not going to give away the pattern, but you do increase. It's a really beautiful, beautiful skirt. It's just the right amount of voluptuousness, in my opinion, and it's the knitted skirt I've been wanting to make for ages. I held the mohair single for the waistband, and I used 2 strands of the alpaca, and then I went to holding the mohair double and 1 strand of the alpaca, as you're meant to do. So the waistband is ever so slightly thicker and ever so slightly darker in colour, but I think that works really well. I just did that to save on the mohair, and then I think I'll probably, when I do the fold over bit on the bottom, I'll stop the mohair usage once I get to the second half of the foldy bit, and maybe I'll go do double the alpaca again, because I've got plenty of that. And then my plan for the shirt underneath the cardigan, because it's got to be a full 3-piece outfit, folks. My plan is currently to make, let me look at my queue again, it's currently to make the Dare to Mohair top. However, it's kind of like a cropped, tighter fitting, slightly tighter fitting crew neck, jumper, t-shirt basically. I can't remember what kind of, I think it's got like a combination, it's like a kind of one of those sort of combination raglan shoulders basically. So I thought I would do that with the ice yarn for the top, just a nice top, a tighter tee sort of situation. Yeah, so that's my long project of a 3-piece outfit. And yeah, I want to start the Moon Crush tank, and I bought the pattern to start it, but I was like, this is too much brain power for me to currently handle. I'm about to start some night shoots, and it's yeah, my brain is like, no, I don't want to do that. But my brain really wants to do it really, really wants to do the crochet. So yeah, it's a strange conundrum, really. Because I will at some stage run out of the colours for the triangles, the hexagons and things. But yeah, we'll see what I end up doing. I think I might take the ripple bralette to Brighton if we still go this weekend. And I don't know what else I might take. I might start a pair of socks, see how that goes. Might take this, who knows? This is easy. Weirdly, I have actually been enjoying just easy stockinette, and that's not usually my vibe. Usually easy stockinette is something I have to get done by watching TV or doing other things, But yeah, right now I've been quite enjoying it, and enjoying using up this yarn, because when I get this done, that's going to be 2 balls down. Holding things double is nice when you're counting your stash. So let's go on to stash now. So when we last saw each other, I had 235 balls of wool, and I've been doing some stash bursting. So making that streamers, I had 7 balls of wool to make the streamers jumper. So first I finished 2 balls of the white, 1 ball of the pink, and then basically everything else was scrap. So I only finished 3 balls in making that jumper. So that takes me down to 232. Then, this is the last thing I have to show you. We were just pottering around last weekend, and we went to John Lewis, which is like a big department store, and they had this yarn, sock yarn, in the sale, and it was a ridiculous price. It was £3.50, and this is Rico Design Superba Kashmiri Luxury Socks. It's 400 meters, sock wool, 100 grams, 65% virgin wool, 25% polyamide, and 10% cashmere. And it is lush, 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 lush. So this is the colorway 002, and yeah, it's lovely. It's basically cream with with little strips of warm toned oranges, yellows, and sort of pale reds. So it feels really soft. It's like a whitish, creamy sock yarn. And Holly was like, "We're having this." Holly's very opinionated on sock yarns, and sadly, there was a grey one with like colours, like this, but instead of cream, it was grey, and then other colours, different colours, and purples or something, or greens, and it was so nice. And Holly loved that one, but that one wasn't in the sale, so there was only 3 balls of this in the shop, and one of them was still full price, £12.50, and then 2 of them were £3.50. So I bought the 2 £3.50 ones. So there was this one, which I don't love the colours of this personally, but Holly really likes them, so we'll make her some socks with them. And then this one I love. Look at those fun colours. Look at that. This feels like superwash to me. It doesn't say, it says virgin wool with cashmere, but I think it's superwash. It does say you can wash it 30 degrees, so I think it's superwash. It feels that way to me. There's pinks, there's like pale neon greens, there's like a blue and a grey and a pale orange. I love these colours, they're so lovely. So I'm really excited to make some socks with these. So those came into my stash. So that was an added 2. And so I immediately got rid of 2 balls of the summer in cashmere, because I'd been trying to think of what to do with them, and I was like, do you know what? It's time to just let them go. So I gave them to the charity shop. So that was 2 in, 2 out. So we stay at 232. Then I finished the green and the red in my little Hippo. So I finished those 2 balls. So that was 2 more down. So that brings us down to 230. Then I finished the pink and the white row and DK in, again, the Hippo. So that was down to 228. Then again from the Hippo, I finished 1 ball of the coral pink and 1 ball of the BC Alino, which is this color, because I had 2 balls of those in my stash, 2 balls of each of those. So I finished 1 of each of them, the smaller one, if I'm honest. So that was 2 more balls down to 226. And then I finally finished my last bit of white connecting, which was the bamboo from my Cumulus tee, and that brings me to 225. So I used up a whole 10 balls of wool between podcasts, and that was 7 balls from the streamers and 3 random stash leftovers, and it was all used up in my lovely Hippo, happy hippopotamus. So I'm a happy hippopotamus. I'm enjoying this so much. Yeah, I have plans. I want to do that Moon Crush tee, but it just feels more complicated than I really want to do. And I'm wondering if I just push through and do the, like, cast it on and get it started, it will feel less like a hurdle. Sometimes casting on is a hurdle for me, weirdly. So I'm wondering if I just cast it on, if I'll get more motivated and get going, or if it will just feel like forced. It would be in a way nice to palette cleanse the sort of not great experience I had with Intarsia with a different experience of Intarsia and with the Moon Crush tea. I feel like this experience would be maybe better. Or it might be nice to give myself some space from Intarsia, but I really want those scraps for this guy. So I don't know. But I'm feeling like I need one more cast on, basically, because I have two simple things going, and I have no complex things. I suppose I could work on finishing something. It is Friday today, I could do some Finish It Friday. I gave up on that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this outdoor boat section, a special edition of my podcast. And I hope you can hear me because I have these in and I'm speaking a bit quieter because my mum's upstairs sleeping ill. But yeah, I hope this was enjoyable for you. If it was, pop a comment, hit the subscribe or the like button. Follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Naomi Joy Knits. And I hope you're having a nice time. I hope you've got some nice weather and you're enjoying yourself and doing some beautiful crafting. And everyone, go and get that hippo pattern because it's amazing. Thanks so much. See you later.